It officially reclassifies English from a foreign language to a second language. And that simple change of a single word completely changes the game, shifting English from just another subject in school to an essential tool for life.
So, what is the true scale of this ambition? I mean, what's the real goal behind such a massive policy shift? It's really all about closing this huge gap. You see, the old goal was pretty simple. Use English for basic communication. But the new national goal? It's way bigger. It's to use English as a strategic tool for full-on economic and scientific integration with the rest of the world. We're talking about a giant leap in ambition here.
Now, to actually pull this off, the policy has to completely redefine what English education even means. This is a total reinvention, from the ground up.
And we're not exaggerating when we say it's a complete paradigm shift. The old way treated English like a museum piece, an object to be studied, focusing on memorizing grammar rules and getting every little thing right. The new way treats English like a tool you actually use, focusing on real-world communication and what you can do with the language.
At the heart of the new curriculum is this really smart but simple three-part principle. See, it's not enough to just learn the language itself, grammar and vocabulary. Students also have to learn about how language works in different situations. And then, the most important part, they learn through the language, using English to study other subjects like science or history. And you can really see this change in action right here. The curriculum is expanding way beyond the traditional 4 skills. It's adding 2 more. Viewing, which is all about analyzing visual information, and representing, which is about creating things like videos or presentations. Let's be honest, these are absolutely essential skills for the 21st century.
Okay, so how does all this big picture thinking actually look inside a classroom? Well, it means a fundamental shift away from teaching abstract rules and toward teaching how real-world texts actually work.
To really get this new method, let's try a little thought experiment. Imagine you're a teacher, and your topic for the day is butterflies. How would you teach it? The answer is pretty revealing.
And here's the key insight. That same topic, butterflies, requires completely different language depending on your goal. A story about a butterfly is totally different from a scientific report classifying one, which is different again from a set of instructions on how to fold an origami butterfly. Each one is a distinct genre.
This whole approach has a name, genre-based pedagogy, and it's basically the engine driving the entire new curriculum. Instead of drilling abstract rules, it teaches students how to use language effectively for all these different real-world tasks.
The secret sauce here is a technique called deconstruction. A teacher doesn't just say, here's the formula for passive voice, memorize it. Instead, they ask, so, why do scientists use the passive voice so much? And the answer, that it's to focus on the process, not the person, turns a boring grammar rule into a powerful, meaningful choice.
But let's be real. A great plan is just a piece of paper without the right people to bring it to life. And that brings us to what might be the most critical and challenging part of this entire plan, forging a whole new kind of teacher.
And the scale we're talking about here is just staggering. This is a national project that involves around 200,000 teachers. This isn't some small pilot program. This is a full-blown, nationwide overhaul of the teaching workforce.
For this to even have a chance of working, it requires a completely new, collaborative model. It's not just the English teacher's job anymore. Now, subject teachers in math, science, history, they also need to be proficient in English and understand the specific language of their own fields.
It all boils down to this one powerful philosophy that every single teacher in the country is being asked to adopt. A science teacher isn't just teaching science anymore. They are now also teaching the language of science.
So, after all this effort, a new policy, a new curriculum, a new kind of teacher, what's the ultimate vision? How does this massive investment in language actually translate into national power?
Well, the primary goal is to escape what's known as the translation trap. Think about it. If your whole country relies on translated textbooks and research, your knowledge is always a step behind the rest of the world. By the time a science book gets translated, the field has already moved on.
And this reframes the entire purpose of learning English. It stops being just a tool for conversation. It becomes the key that gives an entire generation of students direct, immediate access to the global knowledge economy without waiting for anyone to translate it for them.
And what's really amazing is that this ambition isn't just some top-down government order.
It's tapping into a powerful current of national pride, with a global community of Vietnamese experts who are ready and willing to come back and help make this historic transformation happen.
So, this entire national project leaves us with a final provocative thought to chew on. What actually happens when a country successfully manages to turn its language policy into its primary competitive edge on the world stage? Vietnam is betting its future on finding out.